Folks, welcome back. Rudy, Alpha Investments. Today, we got the Bobs. You know why we brought the Bobs back? I brought the Bobs back because it brings me good memories of the Bobs in 2016, 2017. This playmat became very famous in 2019, 2020. And we brought it back because we're going through another tiny collection that I spent a lot of money on. From one, actually, this was a patron. This was, I think he's buying into or investing something, I don't know, robotics or AI or an inflatable humanoid robots that perform things. I'm not really sure what it was. I just told him that, you know, I wish him the best, and I hope it works out on his venture of inflatable robotic AI humanoid task performing something. So, I think I'm the only person left in the universe that's putting their money into old Magic cards. I think I'm the only one. Like, at this point in time, I don't even know. Like, is anybody else even doing this anymore? I know all you care about is Lord of the Rings, right? Revise, volcanic. Revise, ooh, rough condition. Volcanic. Revise, volcanic. You guys remember how big of a deal Revise was a couple years ago? You remember when, like, Revise was, like, the biggest thing? Does anybody remember that? Is anybody, like, how big of a deal that was? And now it's just, like, nobody cares? Like, look at these well-loved things. Can you imagine how many games? Look at the shuffle in the wear right in the middle there. You can see the shuffle from the thumb. Such a big deal, man. And I'm like, I think it's literally down to me, my left nut, and maybe a couple other people who watch my channel who are buying reserve list cards. Like, I don't think anyone even cares anymore. All everybody cares about is Lord of the Rings and serialized cards, right? Underground safes. And, you know, the buy list reflects it. The market reflects it. People don't care. Look at the views. Look at the views on a video like this versus a collection buying video from like 3 years ago when, like, the reserve list and the hype and everything. I'm doing the same videos, talking about the same thing. And guess what? The difference is nobody cares anymore. That's just straight up the raw truth of it. This doesn't matter nearly as much as it did a couple years ago. And for me and many people out there, that's a tough thing to accept. That's a really tough thing to accept. By the way, do you notice that Tundra has a different shade and kind of contrast and saturation compared to the one behind it? There's certain revised dual lands that do that, where, like, this middle Tundra is not counterfeit, but there are certain ones that have a slight shade difference on kind of the coloring, and you'll notice it when you have it in with a bunch. Like, if I put that there, can you guys notice this one? Doesn't mean it's fake. It's just slightly different. I don't know if you guys actually noticed that or not. That's kind of it always freaks a lot of people out. If you haven't handled a lot of dual lands and you see that for the first time, that always kind of makes you go, wait a minute, what's going on with that? Like, see, I always looked at revised duals. This was like the backbone, like the currency. This is kind of like the cornerstone of the health of the vintage market, you know? And it's just, in 2023, everyone goes, Rudy, that doesn't mean anything. The only thing that matters is Lord of the Rings. The only thing that matters is Lord of the Rings. Do you have the one of one ring? Nothing else in Magic matters anymore. And it's just like, that's just how crazy. Here, hold on. Whoosh. Should I make the noises like we're opening a pack? Whoosh. God, look at the condition of some of these things. That's how you know these bad boys are all thin. Look at that natural play wear on the cards. That scrubby land, look at the natural wear. We're going to move aside here. Let me finish these real quick, the dual lands. I think you guys get the idea here. So you got a bunch of bayous. Like, I'm looking at this stuff, and I look at, when I price these things out, and I go online, and I look at some of the comparables to these things, and I literally, there's times I stop, and I'm like, oh, that's stuck together. Is there something sticky on these cards? I just feel like something's stuck there. Oh, wait, right there? Yep, there's something sticky on the card. I was like, wait a minute. And it blows my mind of, honestly, some of these prices on what they're selling at. Like, when I price these things out, like, there are times I'm like, wait a minute, Underground Sea is how much? The cheaper the plateaus and the scrub lands are how much? Like, look at this. Okay. These are very interesting. This is kind of some of the favorites here. These are some unlimited dual lands, all obviously well-loved. The Volcanic Island's got good eye appeal, though. Nice, clean border. This might be the nicest one comparatively. See that nice little roller line right there? Did you guys even notice it? I bet most of y'all didn't even notice. Look at that roller line right there, up and down the card. You know, but anyways, I mean, beautiful. Like, unlimited dual lands. Like, we're in a time, in 2023, these unlimited dual lands are cheaper than what some people are willing to pay for Magic 30 cards. People are willing to pay more for Magic 30 cards in dual lands than they are for revised and unlimited duels. It is surreal how much things have changed. And that is just a fact of where we are. Doesn't matter how I feel. Oh, look. Anybody know what these are? Anybody? Savannahs. We got 4 and blackboard, also known as the old FBB. 4 and black bordered. We got FWB, 4 and black bordered and 4 and white bordered on the old Savannahs there. Pretty cool looking. And we got a couple more unlimited cards. A little tutor action, a little icy, not super expensive, but nice to see. We got a couple collector's edition cards. And again, it blows my mind that this collector's edition Twister or this collector's edition Time Walk is cheaper than like what people are willing to pay on Magic 30 card. Now, granted, these are not. Look at this. You got a bent corner right there. I mean, granted, these are not gem mint cards, so maybe not the best example. But like, you look at this ruby. Okay, this one's not bad. Little nicks in the corner. The ruby's pretty clean. I guess with surface, a little nicks there, but that's a pretty clean one. People are like that. That's how much it's changed. Before we get to this last little bit, I can't emphasize enough. A lot of people are having a hard time accepting that this is where the market is. And you may not agree with it. I may not agree with it. But that is where vintage cards are in 2023. And a lot of us are kind of in a state of denial, or we don't want to accept it. Like right here, these were some of the infamous cards from the beginning of 2021 when, GameStop, AMC, Money Machine Go Burr, free 10Ds, 10x your money. If you don't 10x your money, you're wasting your time. Nothing's worth it. Rudy, you're buying these cards. I only invest in things that 10x my money. I only do some weird little shilled crypto coin that 10x's and tanks and rug pulls. All that goofy corruption, man. Wheel of Fortune. I remember making videos. I was doing videos just on the drama around revised cards. Like the money was flowing and the craziness that was happening with revised was unlike anything I'd ever seen. And now, it's just radio silence. You could hear a pin drop. Anyways, it brings me to these last two. We got a nice little cradle over here. We got a little signature from the old little Mark signature, little Mark Zug signature, little signature from the Zugster. We got a cradle, and Rudy's one of Rudy's favorite Urza's cards, the world famous Metalworker, which I believe I probably have more copies of than anyone out there. Mid-tier cards like cradles, Metalworkers, Grim Monoliths, from Urza's Saga, Legacy, Destiny, some of the hits from Survival of the Fittest, Exodus, just City of Traders, Weatherlight, Stronghold, Tempest, Mirage, Visions. Those mid-tier reserve list cards have been annihilated. I mean annihilated, folks. I wish, like, when I have some of these messages that come through between patrons and you all who send me private emails and things. Obviously, the private emails, I don't get to respond to everyone because there's just too many. But I do read them. And let me tell you all, some of these private emails are just sad. They're terrible to read because a lot of you out there, well, I won't say a lot, but some of you out there who bought into, God, I read this one email a couple days back, or maybe a week ago now. And that was when I was still pretty bad and coughing a lot, lost my voice. So I guess it was about a week and a half ago. And this individual had taken like his $10,000 life savings. And he loved the reserve list and everything going on in 2021-22. He was all about it. He loved it, had a passion for it and everything. And I was reading this dude's email. And not a patron or anything, just sent me this message and just said, hey, thanks for the video. I just want to give you a story. No need to reply. Just real nice dude. And, wish him the best. And hopefully he hears this, even though it's the end of a video on vintage cards where no one's going to watch this anymore. But in this video, he had put his whole life savings of like 10 grand, okay? And he bought all low-tier reserve list cards that he thought were underpriced. I'm talking, he spent all his life savings, $10,000. And every reserve list card he bought was between like $1 and $10. And obviously, if you know anything about reserve list cards, if you're buying reserve list cards that are $5, you're not buying anything in this video. You're not buying any ABU 4 Horsemen. Unfortunately, if you're buying $1 to $10 reserve list cards, most likely you're buying reserve list cards from Ice Age, Fallen Empires, not fourth edition. I was saying maybe not really Chronicles, but I'd say, well, I don't want to. I'll just say Homelands. I don't really want to pick anything particular, but unfortunately, those particular sector of what I call third tier bottom, I don't want to say bottom feeders, but the bottom tier of reserve list cards, I mean, they got crushed, folks. I mean, cards that this guy probably paid $10, $15 for are probably, you know, a buy list probably has for $1. And if you can sell it on the open market, maybe get a couple dollars on eBay, and then shipping and fees, it's just, he's like, look, on average, he thinks he's down between 50 and 80%. And unfortunately, in the boom and bust, you know, the average decline of, you know, many cryptos and many tech stocks. And anybody remember SPACs? Special Purpose Acquisition Corps on Wall Street? These weird things going public. All these things that crashed and burned. And of course, many other just collectibles and all different brands and CCGs. You know, the average drop was 50 to 70, 60, 60, 80%. And it was all over the place. And it just sucks because, in my opinion, I don't think that individual holding on to a bunch of, I don't know, homelands or fallen empires or ice age reserve list cards, sure, in the next 5, 10, 15 years, some of them will recover. Maybe they go all the way back up. Maybe they hit new highs. Maybe he makes millions. But the most probable outcome is not much of anything happens. They don't go to zero. They don't go to $1 million. The most probable outcome is they maybe just stay the same or they drift up a little bit, and it's just kind of, the guy's kind of trapped. And see, stories like that, they're tough because that's somebody who had a huge passion, was really into this stuff, got hit so hard, they're done. They're never coming back. They're done with CCGs, vintage Magic, post Magic 30, you know, the whole, everything that happened. And that's why I tell you over and over, it's going to take a long time. Even for higher tier cards like you're seeing this video. Dual lands, I consider tier 1. You know, tier 2, some metal workers and things like that. You know, but the tier 3, the bottom, you know, $5, $10, $15, $20 reserve list cards, you know, those can't do a whole lot if there's no consumer confidence in Hasbro, Wizards, or the future. And now we're on this brand new era where people are spending millions on brand new serialized cards, and nobody wants this trash in this video anymore. I'm the last taco standing, dumping my money. Mid-2023. Here I am. It is May of 2023. Excuse me. May and June of 2023. And I'm the only person saying, oh, look, here's another Rudy collection. Go into the Rudy Vault. And you'll see. Look at the views on this channel. Or not this channel, this video. Look at the views. Compare it to Lord of the Rings views on this channel. Compare it to the comments and interactions. You are looking at beautiful pieces of history, art, well-engineered items, cards that have stories, characters, you know, the lore, the different flavor text, the hidden things, you know, the hidden dude in the middle of the island right there, hidden from the world-famous Jesper Meifers, you know, the guy he hid right there. All these things are just so historical to me. And I just feel like the damage has just been so bad. I feel like I'm the only one who cares. So that's my story today. I bought some more revised duels, bought some unlimited duels, a couple other tiers and some collector's editions, and, you know, added it to the Rudy Vault. And I'm glad you guys joined me today for story time. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, beautiful day out there. Have a great day.